Why humans were never meant to be alone tonight? Millions of people will go to sleep completely alone. Not just in separate houses, not just in separate apartments, alone, no voices nearby, no campfire, no family gathered a few feet away, no tribe sleeping beside them. And for most of us, this feels completely normal. But for almost all of human history, it wasn't. In fact, if you could somehow transport a modern person back 50,000 years and leave them alone for a single night, their chances of surviving until morning would be terrifyingly low. Not because they lacked weapons, not because they couldn't build a shelter, but because humans were never designed to exist alone. For hundreds of thousands of years, being separated from your group wasn't an inconvenience. It was a death sentence. And even today, a part of your brain still hasn't realized that the world has changed. Let's start with a simple question. How many people do you think your ancestors knew? Not the people they recognized, the people they genuinely knew. The answer is surprisingly small. Anthropologists have found that for most of human history, humans lived in groups ranging from roughly 30 to 150 individuals. This number appears so consistently across cultures that scientists gave it a name: Dunbar's number, named after British anthropologist Robin Dunbar. His research suggested that the human brain can comfortably maintain around 150 meaningful social relationships, not 1,500, not 15,000, around 150. What's fascinating is that this number appears almost everywhere: ancient villages, hunter-gatherer tribes, military units. Even modern companies often begin struggling once they grow beyond this size. For most of history, your entire world fit inside a circle of roughly 150 people. You knew everyone. Everyone knew you. And being excluded from that circle was one of the worst things that could happen. Because outside the group, there was no survival. Imagine waking up tomorrow. No grocery stores, no hospitals, no police, no internet, no electricity. Everything you need to survive depends entirely on the people around you. If you're injured, someone carries you. If you're sick, someone helps you. If predators arrive, the group protects you. If food is scarce, everyone shares the risk. This wasn't unusual. This was normal human life for over 95% of our existence as a species. Humans didn't become the dominant species because we were stronger than other animals. We weren't. We didn't become dominant because we were faster. We definitely weren't. A horse can outrun us. A bear can overpower us. An eagle can see farther than we ever could. What humans mastered was cooperation. And cooperation changed everything. A single human is vulnerable. A group of humans becomes something entirely different. Scientists often ask a strange question. What is humanity's greatest superpower? Many people assume the answer is intelligence. But intelligence alone isn't enough. Neanderthals had large brains. Many animals solve complex problems. What truly separates humans is our ability to cooperate with people we've never met. Millions of strangers work together every day, building cities, running governments, flying airplanes, maintaining the internet. This level of cooperation is almost unheard of in nature. And it began with something incredibly simple: trust. For thousands of generations, your ancestors survived because they trusted their group. Their lives depended on it. The result was a brain that became deeply wired for social connection. So deeply, in fact, that loneliness activates some of the same regions associated with physical pain. Your brain doesn't treat social isolation as a minor inconvenience. It treats it as a threat. Because historically it was. Researchers have discovered something fascinating about loneliness. People often describe it as an emotion, like sadness or boredom. But loneliness behaves differently. In many ways, it's closer to hunger. Think about it. Hunger isn't designed to make you miserable. It's designed to make you eat. Thirst isn't designed to punish you. It's designed to make you drink. And loneliness may have evolved for the same reason. Its purpose isn't suffering. Its purpose is reconnection. A signal, a warning, a message from your brain saying, you need people. And for most of history, that signal worked perfectly. If you felt disconnected, you moved closer to the tribe. You talked, you shared meals, you sat around a fire, you slept near others. The problem is that modern life changed faster than evolution could keep up. Today, a person can live entirely alone, work remotely, order food without speaking to anyone, watch entertainment without leaving home, spend entire days interacting only with screens, and biologically speaking, this situation is completely unprecedented. The human brain evolved in small, tightly connected groups, not apartment buildings filled with strangers, not social media feeds, not digital friendships scattered across continents. For the first time in history, humans can be surrounded by thousands of people and still feel profoundly alone. And that's exactly what many studies are finding. Despite living in the most connected period in human history, loneliness rates continue to rise across much of the world, especially among young adults. The paradox is difficult to ignore. We have more ways to communicate than ever before. Yet many people feel less connected than previous generations. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Because being physically alone isn't actually the biggest problem. Humans have always spent time alone. Hunters often traveled by themselves. People gathered water alone, individuals wandered. The difference was that solitude used to be temporary. There was always a return. A campfire waiting, family waiting, voices waiting. Today, for many people, solitude isn't temporary. It's permanent. And the human mind may not be prepared for that. One of the longest studies ever conducted on human happiness began in 1938 at Harvard University. Researchers followed participants for decades, not years, decades, tracking health, careers, income, success, relationships. The researchers expected wealth or achievement to be the strongest predictor of happiness. They were wrong. Again and again, the same factor emerged. Strong relationships, not fame, not status, not money, relationships. The people who maintained close social connections consistently lived longer, healthier, and happier lives. And perhaps that's because those relationships were never optional. For almost every ancestor you ever had, they were survival itself. Now think about something strange. Every human alive today descends from an unbroken chain of people who belonged. Every ancestor found a group. Every ancestor formed relationships. Every ancestor depended on others. If even one of them had been completely isolated, you wouldn't exist. Your entire family tree is proof that humans survive together, not alone. And yet modern culture often celebrates independence above everything else. Be self-sufficient. Handle everything yourself. Need nobody. Depend on nobody. But there is a difference between strength and isolation. Our ancestors understood that. The strongest individuals weren't the ones who stood apart from the tribe. The strongest were often the ones most deeply connected to it. Because connection wasn't weakness. Connection was survival. Maybe that's why some of the happiest moments in life seem surprisingly simple. A conversation that lasts longer than expected. A shared meal. A room full of laughter. A friend calling at the right time. These moments feel meaningful because on some level your brain recognizes them. They are ancient, far older than cities, far older than nations, far older than civilization itself. They are echoes of the environment humans evolved in. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors ended the day surrounded by people they knew. They shared stories, shared food, shared dangers, shared hopes for tomorrow. And when they fell asleep, they rarely slept alone. Someone was always nearby, a few feet away, a familiar voice in the darkness, a reminder that they belonged. Today, many of us have safer lives than any human in history. More comfort, more technology, more convenience. But perhaps one thing remains exactly the same. The part of us that still longs for the tribe, the part that still searches for connection, the part that still remembers a world where survival meant never facing the darkness alone. And maybe loneliness feels so powerful because it isn't a modern problem. It's an ancient signal, a message carried across hundreds of thousands of years, a reminder from the past that humans were never meant to walk through life entirely by themselves.